relationships. Well, not relationships, but more like situationships, as they tend to be called. It seems that there is a problem with everybody ending up in a situationship. There's too many situationships and not enough relationships. Before we get into the reaction of the video, I just want to say two things. One, don't forget to like and subscribe because your boy is trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and get monetized eventually. I would love to make money off of YouTube. I'm not lying. And two, in my opinion, situationships are a thing because even though women have the ability to choose who they want to sleep with, and men will only be able to sleep with who they can, men have the ability to control who they go into a relationship with. And since a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women are simply not relationship worthy. They're too focused on wanting to be sexually liberated and wanting to do things like have an OnlyFans, but their man has to be okay with them showing their body out to the world or sleeping with other men for content, and he can't be quote unquote insecure about it. So men see this or see things like this and they think, all right, that's fine. You can do that. You're fine to do that. That's what you want to do. Cool. But I'm not going to take you seriously for a relationship, and I'm not going to commit. And so I'm just gonna, if I can smash, I will. And so in my opinion, it's situationships are a thing because of women and this fourth wave of feminism that has brainwashed women into participating in and being focused on being sexually liberated instead of being an actual good person, or let me not say good person, but an actual like someone that anybody would want to have as a partner. You know what I'm saying? And again, not all women, some of them, or technically most of them, but that's only my opinion. Let's check out what Brett Cooper has to say about situationships, because we're going to be reacting to this video called Don't Keep It Casual, and it's by the YouTube channel The Comment Section with Brett Cooper. So as always, links to the video and link to the channel will both be in the description below, so be sure to check her out. Let's get to it.
Gen Z, the world's most undateable generation. Gen Z, sex positive, yet also not having sex and very tired of the sexualization. Apparently, Gen Z, overwhelmingly mentally ill, chronically online. They're not dating. What are we gonna do? Now, I don't really have all the answers. Obviously, this is a very complex issue, and we try to break it down on the show, but a recent TikTok trend has given me a little hope about this very big problem. Before we dive into this, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the Comment Section channel if you have not already, and of course, ring that notification bell so that you never miss one of our uploads. So for years at this point, the cool thing has been to be commitment adverse. And for women, that has meant focusing on corporate girl bossing and to take advice from shows like Sex and the City and Call Her Daddy to just sleep around and date like a man. Push off.
See what I mean? Being sexually liberated and just sleeping around. Not being focused on being someone that somebody would want as a partner, but instead being focused on sleeping around. And yeah, getting your education, doing all this, and push having kids and starting a family off until you're like 30 when your eggs have already started dying. Do you, babe? Do you, boo-boo? I mean, you have the right to do that, but it seems like a lot of women, after they get to that point and they quote unquote hit the wall, it seems like they start to regret it. But you know, younger women seem to not care, they don't seem to hear that advice from the older women that live that same life and start regretting it.
Marriage until you basically can't or won't push it off any longer. And because everyone was avoiding this commitment and it was so not in vogue, but obviously still craved emotional and physical connections, casual relationships boomed. Situationships boomed. And we've talked about this before, but if you look up Gen Z dating trends, this is what you will see. Situationships, why Gen Z are embracing the gray area. What kind of relationships does Gen Z want? Commitment anxiety strikes on Valentine's Day. Newsflash, it does not just strike on Valentine's Day, it strikes on every single day of the year for my generation. generation.
That is depressing.
And this analysis isn't just coming from social psychologists and reporters and journalists. Gen Z themselves are admitting this. One young author in a CNN article said, "My generation has redefined what it means to be in a serious, exclusive relationship. We've created our own small world in this vast universe of romance and love, one that normalizes fluidity and casualness in romantic partners and reciprocal regenerative love in friendships."
That's not something to be proud of, but I can see why I can see why some people would probably want to be proud of that. But you see, there is a thing that happens when young men start to hit their stride and start to get their money, get their looks in order, get their body in order, get to the point where they would attract a lot of women. There's a percentage of these young men that have seen or dealt with these type of women that, well, that she's talking about at the moment, or the type of women that have the same as the woman that wrote that little article or the paragraph or whatever that Brett just read. They've seen or dealt with these type of women, and they've decided, no, thank you. And so they either opt out of dating or they take their talents elsewhere to other countries and find women that appreciate who they are and just stay with them. Because right now, a lot of Western women do not appreciate men in general. Unless you have millions of dollars and you're willing to let her do whatever she wants and sleep with whoever she wants while you pay her bills and take care of her as if you were her father, then she'll not even appreciate you. She'll see if there's someone that can do more for her, and then she'll move on. But at least for the time being, she'll be yours. But again, that's not all women, but it is most at the moment. At least it seems like it's most. Most of these women they aren't worried about finding a relationship based on love and personality and being together to build a life, a peaceful life, or like a great life in general. They aren't worried about that. What they are worried about is what you can do for them at this moment. Not what they can do for you, and not what you can do and what they can do for you, not to reciprocate with that, but it's a lot of them are just looking for what you can do for them at this moment. And if you can do something good for them, if you can do something for them that they want, then you have them for the time until they find someone that's willing to do more and will move on. Again, it's not all women, thankfully, but it is a lot of them.
That's a Gen Z sentence if I've ever heard one. And while this idea might seem strange to other generations and also to normal people in your own generation, this low commitment situationship fits the mold of the generation exactly, with the priorities being emotional well-being, financial stability, and personal development, which, by the way, are all things that marriage benefits, just saying. A situationship seems like exactly what would arise. A relationship where you're certainly attached, but you can prioritize yourself over your significant other without any recoil. And if you decide to take it to the next level and call it a don't get started capital R relationship, then you already got to know your counterpart and whether it could work in the long term. First of all, I just have to say, it is wild to me, as somebody who has been in situationships and has gone through the talking phases, that we would be branding this as a positive thing. I did a whole episode about it. Situationships, they are not positive. They are absolutely terrible. They are anxiety inducing. You never know what's going on. You're like, oh my God, he's not texting me back. Is that because he's busy or because he's talking to some other girl and you don't know because you're not committed to? Because it's just, oh my God. Anyway, it's been
But that seems to be what a lot of women like, though, because if this is, again, it's one of the same reasons why they don't like a good man, because it's that a good man or a nice guy is boring. There's no excitement there, and yet a situationship will bring that excitement. It's exactly everything she just said. They're not texting me back? What's going on? This, that. And they go into that frenzy, that worry. That's exciting to them. Like if you're too nice of a guy, of a person, then a lot of women will lose interest. If you're texting back too fast, if you're wanting to do things for her, if you're wanting to be nice in general, if you're a nice guy, a lot of women will that will give them the quote unquote ick. And they will not want anything to do with you, or they'll use you for what you have to, what you can do for them, and then they'll dip out and catch ghosts.
Branded, it's actually freeing and all about self-care. Anyway, I just think that this really is the me generation. Like, one of the most beautiful parts about being in a committed relationship and then marriage is that it's not all about you. And that is a very good thing for literally everyone to experience, because you're...
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's exactly what I said. A lot of women are only looking, a lot, not all, a lot, are only looking for what you can do for them in this moment. That's why it's the me. So that is what a lot of women are only focused on. Me. What can you do for me? And not what they can do for you, or doing both at the same time, what you can do for me and what I can do for you. It's just what can you do for me in this moment? Or for now, at least, for the time being.
Pouring into somebody else and their well-being and their life and their future because of how much you love them. And by doing that, you become a better person, and they also do that for you. It is selfless and it's secure for the most part. Obviously, not everything is perfect. And that little caveat, the fact that there is always that risk of heartbreak, is what makes it so scary, and apparently why my generation is just like, never mind, I'll focus on me because I don't want to get involved. I'd rather have like one foot out the door at all times. And we know the Gen Z is risk averse, so I'm sure that they're happy to avoid this risk of heartbreak entirely. But obviously, the problem goes deeper and it stems back much farther than just that. Another student writer, again, another Gen Zer, wrote that Gen Z is embracing this middle ground, which is something that older generations were accustomed to avoid. The rise in situationships just goes to show that teens and young adults have an updated mindset towards dating and relationships, and are...
The funny thing is, this is also why people say, history repeats itself. There's a reason why the older generations were accustomed to avoiding, situationships, because it just doesn't work for society. It wasn't working for society. It wasn't working back then. And so give it time, and eventually the Gen Z or the Gen after them will figure out, hey, this isn't working. It's not worth it. Why are we doing this? And then it'll come right back around. History will repeat itself, and they'll be more focused on relationships after that.
Are no longer looking to prioritize commitment. This generation has grown to fear commitment, maybe because there are too many options. The ability to swipe through endless dating profiles certainly does not help the situation. No, it does not. Get off dating apps. They are literally designed to addict you. Nobody wants to commit to one person when there is a multitude of visible options. So instead, they settle for situationships. Although dating habits are changing, it reflects the independent nature of this generation, and that they do not need a codependent relationship to be happy. That is literally just coping. You are rationalizing your fears to make it something that is empowering and amazing and like you're better than other generations. I don't have to be codependent. No, it's literally just that you're scared. You're scared, there's too many options, and you're addicted to swiping on dating apps. That is the problem here. Also, using the word
What the hell was that?
Scared. You're scared, there's too...
What is this? Little chickens thing. What is that? Is that like some little thing she does as like, if you can tell me what timestamp the chickens are in, then you win something. What is that?
Too many options, and you're addicted to swiping on dating apps. That is the problem here. Also, using the word codependent for a committed relationship as if it's some awful, terrible thing. Like, sure, you do not need to be in a relationship to be fulfilled or be happy. Completely agree with that. But denying the obvious statistical benefits to commitment in marriage is genuinely wild. But of course, it isn't just Gen Z that is living in this gray zone, because in fact, it really did start with millennials. As we mentioned earlier, the girls who grew up watching Sex in the City, the people who were first fed these lies and all of this negativity surrounding commitment and surrounding men. And so now they're facing their own slew of problems as they hit their 30s or early 40s, many with no commitment in sight. Cartoons Hate Her on X, that's her account name, you should all go follow her. She recently released an absolutely brilliant Substack piece on this whole epidemic, this epidemic of forever girlfriends, of commitment phobia, of our declining birth rate, and how all of that is just tied together. You should all go read it. It is behind a paywall, so if you don't want to pay for that or do the free trial, you can at least read her Twitter thread breaking it down. But her comment section was just lit with some gems. And of course,
behind a paywall. Oof. All right, I mean, make your money though. Yeah, get that free subscription, read it, see what you need to see, and then dip out.
course, there were people arguing and men and women pitting themselves against each other, but I was so happy to see that on both sides, from both men and women, there were people commenting and saying, this really made me angry and made me feel self-conscious, and I think I need to sit with that for a while because it might be a me problem. There were also women saying, oh my gosh, I've been enabling this behavior. I want to be married. I want to have kids, and I'm sticking around. I mean, it was just very cool. So I just urge you to read it because it was very thought-provoking, not just for me, but for a lot of people. But one person commented and said, I really think cool girl culture severely impacted Gen X and millennial women. Yes, it really did. I'm cool. You don't have to commit to me. I'm fine. Go have sex with whoever you want. I'm chill. I'm not chill. I'll happily say I am so not chill. I was one.
And then there's also that whole black cat energy and what is it, golden retriever that's going around right now, where it's like the women like to act like they're black cats, where it's just like they'll be aloof and standoffish and they're not going to be worried about whether you give them attention or not, but they want a man that has golden retriever energy that is constantly, you know, trying to wag their tail for them and be in their face and give them attention and just be by their side all the time while they just sitting off, be aloof and all that. Man, fuck out of here with that shit.
Once dating a guy who told me that he would have to wait 7 years to figure out whether he wanted to marry me. And in that instance, it took me 5 seconds to decide that I did not want to marry him. So I ended that real quick, not chill in the slightest, but I knew what I wanted. Nice. Didn't want to waste time, didn't want to waste his time because I knew that I would grow to resent that. Anyway, we can talk about that at another time. I'm just not cool or chill. Anyway, another commenter said, I feel like casually dating forever is in the same vein of terrible boomer advice, just like get any college degree and everything will work out. Yeah, exactly. And then she went on and said, in the 2000s, 2010s, if you even mentioned that you took marriage seriously, most men would assume that you were a freak or deeply religious. Another person said, dating has been so casual for so long that it is
Really? If you in the 2000s and 2010s, if you even mentioned that you took marriage seriously, men would think you were overly religious or a freak or whatever. That doesn't feel right. I don't think that's about right. It doesn't seem about right to me. I don't know about that.
Causing literal civilizational collapse through a declining birth rate. It is all connected. And some people are like, Brett, you talk about dating too much. No, this is literally the biggest problem that plagues our generation and plagues the future of our entire society. This guy went on and said, are there some new and old social norms needed? I'd say so. Yeah, absolutely. Now, number one, and this is by far the most important in what I say all the time, so you can skip ahead because you're probably like, Brett, I'm tired of hearing this. Literally, just being honest with the person that you're dating about your dreams and your desires and your expectations. Like, I'm so glad that the guy that I was dating said, no, I want to be together for 7 years before I can even consider getting married. I'm glad that he said that because then I was able to be honest and be like, ooh, yeah, not gonna work for me. I want to have a kid by then. And so do not lie to yourself and try to be the cool, chill girl and say, oh yeah, I'm fine with, moving in and playing housewife and waiting 5+ years for a ring. If you're not, if you actually want to be married and have kids, if you don't want to get married, that's totally fine. Go do whatever you want. And on the men's side, don't be the guy with the empty promises and the maybes and the somedays and the don't pressure me's and just wait another year when you know that you're not sure about that woman. And if you
facts, just be real about it. Just be like, if I get it with some men, like they just want to see how long they can smash, even though they know they're not going to take that woman seriously. And so they don't want to be real and say, yeah, I'm not going to take you seriously. I just want to be with you for as long as I can because I like smashing. But as far as taking you seriously, nah. And they don't want to ruin that because, like I said before, men will smash who they can, while women will smash who they want. And so sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't see us having a serious relationship in the future, but for now, the sex is good. And they don't want to say that, they don't want to ruin it. But men gotta be real. Men, like, not all men are gonna be real, but some men are gonna be real and be like, yeah, this isn't gonna work out, because they know that they have options. They're not worried about trying to stick with one chick or keep one chick around. They're not worried about it. And other men will just be like, oh man, if I say anything, if I do say what I'm feeling, then I ain't gonna be able to smash whenever I want to, and I gotta wait until I get another girl, and they'll be worried about that. That's how it is with some men. Thankfully, we're not all like that, but some of them are.
You know that you actually don't want to get married, which again is totally fine if you don't want to, but it's not fine when you're dating somebody who does want that and is hoping that you will change your mind. But all of this at least just needs to be out in the open so that you can protect yourself. It's like a relationship insurance policy, and sadly you can't get that kind of insurance policy with Policy Genius, but you can get basically any other kind.
Shout out to Brett Cooper with the good segue. I like that. And right from talking about, you know, relationships and right into this, this video is sponsored by. I'm feeling it. Personally though, real quick. I don't see myself taking any Western woman seriously, at least for when it comes to marriage. I'd say that, but I am still keeping an open mind to see if I can actually find a good woman here in the West. I feel like finding a good woman in the West is like trying to find a piece of hay in a stack of needles. I say that often. I don't know if you caught that, but I say it often. But my plan is to eventually go out to either East, like the Philippines or Japan, and find a wife there. That's just me.
Now, Policy Genius is the country's leading insurance marketplace with experts ready to help you secure your family's financial future quickly and efficiently. And the best way that you can protect your family is through life insurance, as daunting and weird as that might sound. Now, even if you do have life insurance automatically through work, it can be as unreliable as a politician's promises and may not offer enough protection for your family's needs, because it's not just expenses that you need covered. Your loved ones could inherit things like your student debt. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams.
I actually used to sell life insurance, and I still have my license to sell life insurance. I'm just not actively selling it. I'm not trying to, but like it is something useful and something that people that I think people do need, but a lot of people aren't. I mean, obviously there's different types of policies out there. Some that are as low as $40 a month to $30 a month that you can get. So I think people do need life insurance and that you can get in order to make sure that if anything happens to you, then your family or your loved ones, or if you want whatever you want that money to go to, it'll be taken care of. And I think it's an important thing to do. Even if you're not in your 60s, 50s, or whatever, even if you're like 30s or 40s, it's still a good thing to get. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on life insurance.
Now, like many of the legal things that you have to do after you get married, life insurance can seem really daunting. It also can feel like something that you just want to push off. You don't even want to think about if, God forbid, something happened to one of you. But in order to protect your spouse and your family, it is one of the most important things that you can do. And Policy Genius makes it so easy and so painless. They let you compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. And their licensed support team is your advocate every step of the way. They work for you, not the insurance companies. They'll answer questions, they'll handle all the paperwork, and help you make decisions with confidence. And don't just take my word for it. Thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot prove that Policy Genius is the people's choice for insurance guidance. And I promise you will love the peace of mind that comes with knowing that your loved ones are secure. So be ready for the future with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/Cooper or click the link in the description below to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. Again, that is policygenius.com/Cooper. Now, the other thing that needs to change, in addition to this, being honest insurance policy, is our general perception of commitment and what it means to be in a loving relationship versus the glitz, the glamour, and the freedom and the self-care of something that's like casual, which a new TikTok trend is inadvertently doing. Chapel Roan, who you guys have heard me talk about before, and I got in hot water because I used a song of hers on an Instagram reel and everybody was like, she hates you. And I'm like, I don't care. I like the music anyway. She is one of this year's rising new artists. She has a song called Casual. It's very explicit, so possibly don't go listen to it. But basically in this song, she sings about a situationship that she had that was labeled as casual because it was a situationship and then was casually tossed aside, but obviously meant a lot more. And she sings about how heartbreaking the whole experience was, which, by the way, should be a cautionary tale in and of itself because situationships are anxiety-inducing and risky. They are not freeing and full of self-care. We can stop lying to ourselves and each other about that fact. But
yeah, but again, like I said before, a lot of women like the excitement that comes with situationships. They don't like things to be boring, which is why nice guys finish last. And they often don't approach they don't stay with nice guys because nice guys are boring. They're not, I don't want to say practical, but they don't keep a woman guessing what they're doing, if they're cheating on them or if they are going to hit them or hurt them. They don't, because they don't do that. And that's not exciting to some women. So they just, leave that guy or or just don't mess with them in the beginning or in general. And with situationships, it's more exciting because it's nerve-inducing or nervous-inducing, whatever. It's because it puts them through all those emotions, and that's exciting for them. And so they like situationships. Or not all women, again, most of them.
People are using this song Casual on TikTok to kind of be funny and sarcastic and ironic to show their opposite experiences. So they'll say like, casual things my husband or my boyfriend and I did, and then it's something that's not casual at all. It's total love, total commitment from the get-go. I always find a way to bring these trends in. Here we go. So this girl's first slide reads, casual things we did before we started dating, and obviously they're married now. And then the second slide says, actually nothing was casual. He told me he was gonna marry me in the cab ride home from the bar. We said I love you to each other after 30 days of knowing each other. We moved in together in our senior year of college. We are incapable of casual. And all of the comments on all of these videos are echoing this experience or desiring this and begging for it, which was just wild and yet amazing to see. Like somebody said, my husband told me that I was going to be his wife immediately after we met. Another person said, I'm kind of envious. Yeah, because it's comforting and desirable. Being in an anxiety-inducing, freeing, casual situationship is not comforting in the slightest. Another person commented and said, I love this. My husband told his coworkers that he was going to marry me before we even met. Honestly saying, maybe one day I can have Alex tell that story because it literally makes me weak at the knees. But anyway, here is another one. Casual things my husband and I did after we started dating. Absolutely nothing.
Nice.
He proposed after 8 months and said he knew immediately that I was the one. And again, the comments sound the same. One person said, I knew
See, this right here are the good stories I like to hear. I don't hear a lot of these type of good stories, like people wanting to be with each other and not trying to play these mind games or to do all this bullshit because society tells them to do that, or because single women like to keep other women single. And it's just like, I like these stories where it's like, yeah, we liked each other, we got together, and we decided to be together. That's what I want. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? From my partner. So yeah, like I said before, my plan is to go out to like the East, Japan or the Philippines and find a wife there. But I am not opposed to finding a wife here in the West. I just think it'll be either very difficult or that it won't happen, because a lot of women are, you know, not all women are like Brett Cooper or like this, or like the women that she's talking about that are posting these quotes. Not all women are like that. A lot of them just are concerned with what you can do for them in this moment, and they like situationships and they don't like the nice guy.
I was going to marry my husband the first night I met him. Another person said, my parents got married after 6 months and have been married now for 24 years. When you know, you know. Another person said, this is my husband 1,000%, and everyone needs to wait until they find this because it is so worth it. One more for good measure, guys. There are thousands of these at this point. Here we go. Casual things we did before we started dating. Literally nothing. I flew alone to this destination wedding to be his +1. I met his whole family, decided that we were going to get married and that he'd moved to my city. We picked kids' names and then started dating a week later. Like, they're so funny. They're just so endearing. Like, the whole trend, guys, is just full of joy and hope and genuine excitement. And it's from people who have, you know, been married for 10+ years, right down to people who are in high school and just started dating a few months ago and are already talking about commitment and love and dreaming about marriage. And after literally years of hearing hatred spewed at men and resentment towards marriage and settling down and this fascination with casual encounters, this is just so refreshing to hear. Like, I'm scrolling through TikTok, like liking every single one of these videos, because it really is the little things like this, the stupid, ridiculous TikTok trends we all kind of giggle at and then just move on from, but it's the little things like that that help change perceptions and then start to change culture.
And it's also it's things like that once I lose faith in humanity or faith in the dating market or faith in like Western women, things like that will just give me a little bit of hope. It's like, all right, maybe there's still hope. Don't give up yet. Oh.
Well, guys, I hope you liked that video. Make sure that you like.
So that was the end of the video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Personally, I've said what I had to say. I'm at the moment, my faith in Western women is, especially, it's not just because of what I've seen on the internet or what I've been told. It's also what I've personally experienced and been through. So, and don't start with the who hurt you. Don't start with that shit. It is the dating market isn't what it used to be because of modern day feminism, in my opinion. And so I don't know. I just don't know when it comes to Western women, because I don't know if I am with the right one, and or if I'm with someone who's just pretending to be the right one, and they're good at pretending for a very long time. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think about this, and what you guys think about casual relationships and situationships, and the cause of it all, the root of it all. Now, I know when it comes to situationships, I know that it's not all women, and I know it's not, and even though it's not all women, it's not just women to blame. It's also some guys who just don't want to commit because they're the playboy type. I know that. I forgot to mention that before. I'm mentioning it now, but I know that that's also part of the thing. But let me know what you guys think about, you know, situationships, casual relationships, all of that. But is there still hope in the West for love? Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. As always, links to Brett Cooper's channel and links to this video will both be in the description below, so be sure to check her out. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do, and like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that, in case I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Much love too.